Mesopotamia, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, was a cradle of ancient civilizations. Within this fertile region, the city of Babylon emerged as a prominent urban center. For nearly 2 millennia, Babylon served as a pivotal religious capital in the ancient world. Its sophisticated religious system profoundly influenced the broader ancient world. Babylonian religion was a complex system of beliefs and practices in ancient Mesopotamia. It integrated various religious traditions from earlier Mesopotamian civilizations. This elaborate system developed over centuries, reflecting the region's cultural evolution. Babylonian religious narratives and concepts were transmitted to subsequent cultures. These traditions profoundly impacted later religious thought across the ancient world. Elements of Babylonian religion are evident in aspects of the Bible, showcasing its lasting influence. Babylonian religion represents a culmination of Mesopotamian religious development. Its origins trace back over 2 millennia of history. This religious evolution began with the earliest Sumerian city-states. It did not emerge in isolation, but through continuous historical progression. The Babylonians meticulously preserved Sumerian, treating it as a sacred language. Sumerian held a status similar to Latin in medieval Europe, revered for its historical and religious significance. For 2 millennia, they consistently copied and translated Sumerian hymns, prayers, and myths. This ensured the continuous transmission and understanding of ancient religious texts. The Babylonian pantheon largely adopted the existing Sumerian pantheon. Sumerian deities were re-identified with new Babylonian names. Examples include An becoming Anu, Enki becoming Ea, and Inanna becoming Ishtar. The core structure of a divine assembly led by a supreme father figure remained consistent. Ancient Mesopotamia witnessed significant shifts in religious beliefs and deity prominence. The city of Babylon introduced a unique deity named Marduk into its pantheon. Marduk's rise to prominence involved the absorption of powers from other existing deities. This theological evolution mirrored Babylon's own ascendancy from a small town to a vast empire. Marduk's elevated status reflected the growing political and cultural dominance of Babylon. Marduk's name first appears in inscriptions during Hammurabi's reign, 1792–1750 BCE. He was initially a minor local deity of Babylon. Marduk was primarily associated with agriculture and magic. These associations indicate his humble beginnings as a deity. Babylon began as a modest settlement, gradually expanding its influence and physical boundaries. Its growth was not merely territorial, but also political, transforming it into an imperial capital. Concurrently, Marduk, Babylon's patron god, experienced a parallel rise in status. His divine influence and importance grew in direct proportion to the city's increasing prominence. This illustrates a profound connection between a city's power and its deity's revered position. Ancient Babylonian theologians undertook a systematic elevation of the god Marduk. This process aimed to establish Marduk as the supreme deity within their pantheon. They achieved this by attributing the powers and functions of other gods to Marduk. This involved integrating Marduk's roles with those of existing, established deities. The theological reinterpretation solidified Marduk's preeminent status among the gods. The Enuma Elish is an ancient Mesopotamian creation epic. It narrates the cosmic struggle between primordial forces of chaos and order. Marduk, a prominent deity, emerges as the champion against chaos. His victory over these forces is a central event in the epic. Following his triumph, Marduk is granted kingship over all other deities. Older gods willingly transfer their authority, establishing Marduk's supreme rule. Marduk, a prominent deity in ancient Mesopotamia, expanded his divine portfolio through assimilation. He became identified with Anu, the god of heaven, integrating celestial authority into his domain. Marduk also absorbed the roles of Enlil, the god of earth and air, and Ea, the god of wisdom and magic. Furthermore, he assimilated the functions of the sun god Shamash and the moon god Sin, consolidating cosmic power. Later, Babylonian priests developed a unique religious concept. They identified all other gods as manifestations of the supreme deity, Marduk. Scholars term this tendency monotheistic henotheism. This elevated one god above others without denying the existence of other deities. This theological development represented a move closer to monotheistic belief systems. Ancient Mesopotamian civilizations, particularly the Babylonians, revered a vast pantheon of gods. Each deity possessed distinct roles, personalities, and dedicated cult centers. Despite Marduk's supremacy, The great gods of Sumer and Akkad continued to receive offerings and prayers. This comprehensive system reflects the complex religious beliefs of the era. Anu was a prominent deity in ancient Mesopotamian mythology. Revered as the Sky Father, he held the theoretical position of King of the Gods, representing the highest divine authority. Anu symbolized the celestial realm and the ultimate source of cosmic order. Despite his supreme status, Anu lacked major cult centers in later periods of Mesopotamian history. Nevertheless, his influence remained profound in the political and religious ideology. Every king's right to rule was considered to originate directly from Anu, legitimizing their authority. Enlil was revered as the Mesopotamian god of wind, storm, and earth. He held significant executive power within the pantheon, maintaining immense prestige. Enlil was capable of unleashing destructive floods, demonstrating his formidable might. Over time, much of Enlil's authority and powers were transferred to the god Marduk. Ea, known as Enki in Sumerian, was a prominent deity in ancient Mesopotamian mythology. He was revered as the god of wisdom, magic, and the subterranean sweet waters. Ea was also considered a protector of humanity, often intervening on their behalf. A notable act was warning Utnapishtim to build an ark to survive a great flood. Ishtar, known as Inanna in Sumerian mythology, was a highly revered and complex goddess. She held multiple significant roles, including the Queen of Heaven. Ishtar was also recognized as the goddess of love and sexuality. Additionally, she embodied the fierce aspects of war and conflict. Her dual nature reflected the ambiguities inherent in human experience. This complexity encompassed both the forces of creation and destruction. Shamash, known as Utu in Sumerian, was the revered sun god in ancient Mesopotamia. He was considered the Lord of Justice, illuminating the world and observing all human actions. This omnipresence established him as the supreme judge in the Mesopotamian pantheon. Hammurabi's law code underscored the divine origin of Babylonian justice through Shamash. Sin, known as Nana in Sumerian, was a prominent moon god in ancient Mesopotamia. He was revered as the father of important deities such as Shamash, the sun god, and Ishtar, the goddess of love and war. Sin's primary temple, located in the city of held immense prestige and religious significance. His cult received substantial support and patronage from the ruling royalty, highlighting his importance. The regular phases of the moon were directly attributed to Sin, establishing him as the divine measurer of time. This role made Sin instrumental in regulating the timing of religious festivals and the ancient calendar. Nabu, the Mesopotamian deity, was revered as the god of writing and wisdom. His prominence significantly grew during the Neo-Babylonian period. As the son of Marduk, Nabu shared in his father's considerable prestige. He served as the patron deity for scribes, symbolized by the stylus and clay tablet. Nergal was a prominent deity in ancient Mesopotamian mythology, associated with powerful and often destructive forces. He was primarily known as the god of plague, war, and the underworld, reflecting his dominion over death and destruction. His main cult center was located in Kutha, a city that held both fear and reverence for his divine power. People invoked Nergal for protection against diseases and various disasters, seeking his appeasement. In the realm of the dead, Nergal shared his rule with the goddess Ereshkigal, overseeing the afterlife. Adad, also known as Ramin or Hadad, was a prominent storm god in ancient Mesopotamia. He held dominion over crucial natural elements, rain, and thunder. Adad was revered for providing life-sustaining waters, essential for agriculture. This benevolent aspect was vital for the fertility of crops and the survival of communities. However, Adad also possessed a destructive side, unleashing powerful storms when angered. His dual nature was particularly significant in northern Mesopotamia, where rainfall was critical. Beyond major gods, the Babylonian worldview included hundreds of lesser deities, demons, and spirits. These entities populated the spiritual landscape, influencing daily life and beliefs. It was believed that each individual possessed personal gods and goddesses. These personal deities served as intercessors with the more powerful, greater gods. The Enuma Elish is an ancient Mesopotamian creation epic. It is named Win on High, from its opening words, reflecting its cosmic scope. This epic is inscribed across 7 distinct cuneiform tablets. It was ritually recited annually during the New Year's festival. The recitation served to reaffirm Marduk's supremacy and renew cosmic order. The Mesopotamian epic begins before the creation of heaven and earth. Only 2 primordial beings, Apsu, fresh water, and Tiamat, salt water, inhabited the cosmic waters. Their union led to the birth of the first generation of gods. The gods' noisiness disturbed Apsu, leading to conflict.